Last but not least, we're gonna switch up because it's gonna get crazy. Now, people are gonna say, hey, Chris, this is the Car Concierge Show. Why are you talking about P Diddy? Well, P Diddy was charged with trafficking, which gives us the every right to talk about it. So, as everybody knows, Sean P. Diddy Combs has been on trial for quite some time for several horrible, horrible things. Horrible things, supposedly. Allegedly, is the word we're looking for. And as of today, he was acquitted of the majority of those things. There were things that he was found guilty of, but the things that he was found guilty of, they're saying that he probably was just gonna get time served and get out. So they expected him to get out today. So let's first start. Let me change up because you know what I'm saying. Can't be Chris the car concierge. Yeah. All right, let's go on here. All right, let's check it out. So let's check out Mr. Combs as he is acquitted on some charges.
Guilty on 2 counts and not guilty, acquitted on 3, including the most serious of charges. Ashley Banfield joins us now, my colleague and friend. Ashley, you have covered this extensively since the beginning. You know, it's been unfortunate that the public can't see what's going on inside the courtroom or hear what's going on because it's a federal case. However, you've talked to a lot of people who are very close to this case. Are you, one, surprised by the verdict, and two, how you expect the defense to try to get a lesser sentence for Diddy?
Yeah, I am. I'm as surprised at this as I was at Brian Koberger's plea deal, because I followed every letter of the law in the testimony and watching the exhibits, Marnie, and I checked every box. I just find it shocking that a jury couldn't put this together. But I'm sort of reminded of the long journey for women's sex rights, should I say, because in my lifetime...
I'm going to stop her right there. I'm going to stop her right there. All right, check this out. Okay, first off, we're not going to give Diddy a pass because we all of us seen him whoop Cassie ass. All right, we're not going to give the fool a pass. We're not going to do that. The dude is a bad dude. He in himself is part of the problem, and to be caught up in the problem itself, he should be ashamed of himself. But he's part of the problem. He's part of this whole attack on masculinity. Okay, there's a massive attack on masculinity, and this is the cornerstone of it. We've seen, and it's a particular attack on black masculinity, or black men in particular. We've seen so many powerful black men get attacked in this sort of way. We see Shannon Sharp. We've seen P. Diddy. Just so many situations where black men and their vices have been used against them. And that's the thing. Depending on what the vice is, it in most cases it's not illegal. You know, if your vice is drugs, a lot of men have been caught up because of their vice of being drugs, and that is a horrible vice. And it is one of those vices that they really can get you for. They can really throw you in jail because it's illegal. It's one of those vices that's illegal, so they can attack you for it. They know you're doing it. They can set you up in some way, shape, or form to take you down because of that vice. P. Diddy, his vice was freak-offs. His vice was having random sex with random people, and on top of that, his vice was having a whole bunch of people together to have sex. Now we know that he did, beat up on the young lady Cassie, but I don't even think that was one of the charges up against him. Look at the charges we have on this board: racketeering, conspiracy. I don't know if y'all understand what racketeering is, but it's like he created this empire so he could freak off. That's not illegal in itself. Sex trafficking. In cases of sex trafficking, in most cases, it had to be underage children, right? You know what I'm saying? You can't be sex trafficking, willing participants that were paid money to come over here and join this party. It's a party. If you can be, because if you can be attacked because of your desire to have sex, then men are in trouble all over the place. Men are in trouble. We should have this. We should learn from this. We should learn from the Shannon Sharps of the world. Where we stay away from the R. Kellys of the world. We ain't even going down that trippy road. But the fact that you can bring a man down just because he desires sex is outrageous. Let's keep going. Let's see what this lady got to say. She tripping.
A wife couldn't be raped by her husband, right? And so I sort of look at this as though a jury saw girlfriends can't be sex trafficked. A jury saw that if you're willing one day or 1 month or 1 year, and you're unwilling in another day or another month or a year, that doesn't count.
It don't.
And so that's what's...
all right, hold on. You're willing one day and you're not willing to next. So then when you're not willing, you have every right not to do it. And if they saw that they had every right not to do it, then it's not sex trafficking, it's not rape, it's not anything wrong. The attack on men has been so strong over the course of years. The Me Too movement, the Believe All Women's movement, and it continues today. All kinds of men lives are destroyed just because of an accusation of a woman. And even in cases where the accusation is found to be completely and utterly untrue, the man's life will still be destroyed. It's that powerful. Let's keep going.
I think really troubling to me on this. And I think that no matter what, the government is certainly going to push for the maximum. I believe it's 10 years for the Mann Act federally for each count. And these are not the kinds of counts that you look at concurrently, right? Because these are different. They are different days. They are different victims. So these could be easily consecutive sentences, which would mean maximum 10 years each, which would mean a 20-year sentence. And in the federal system, you don't get as much time off for good behavior. You serve a lot of your federal sentences. So if he gets the max for each and he gets 20 years because it...
All right, let's check this out. The Mann Act, previously called the White Slave Traffic Act of 1910, as the United States federal law passed June 25th, 1910, Hold on. Is named. Hold on. Was created to stop forced sexual slavery of women. Hold on. Here it is. Legal app sheet. Here you go. I'm checking out what the Mann Act is. In its original form, the act made it a felony to engage in interstate or foreign commerce transport of any woman or girl for the purpose of prostitution or debauchery, or for any other immoral purpose. Its primary stated intent was to address prostitution, immorality, and human trafficking, particularly where trafficking was for the purpose of prostitution. It's one of several acts of protective legalization aimed at moral reform during the Progressive Era. Bruh, he's being attacked by a law that started in 1910. Let's keep going.
It's consecutive. He would probably have to serve, I'm going to ballpark here, like 18. But yeah, I'm really astounded at this.
What's he getting 18 years for? I don't see nothing in his case talking about him beating up Cassie. That's the only thing I see him going to jail for. I don't understand why. See, and you can't. And here's the big thing. This is not women attacking men. This is soft ass, simp ass men attacking men, masculine, real men. This is what this is, because the women are don't get me wrong, the women are part of the problem. Men, but because the women have the ability to, you know, women are men's greatest vice. They will always be a man's greatest vice. So a woman can not only get a man to do almost anything, she is she can almost, in most cases, what we found is she can almost say anything about a man and get him in trouble. But the bigger problem that I'm running into when we're talking about these type of situations is that there's men behind these women pushing them to attack these men. That one Ted Borges or whatever, that lawyer dude, the person who got into Cassie ear to go after to Diddy. And now here's my thing. Mind you, and I'm gonna say this again. Diddy gets no pass for whooping up on Cassie, no pass whatsoever. But I would feel like she was rejuvenated after she got to 20 million, and then she never charged him with any. She never put any criminal cases on him. So that in itself tells you that where are they pulling all this racketeering and all this criminality for these freak off contests or freak off situations that he had. You know what a freak off truly is? A freak off truly is just a man of riches or power getting all his friends some coochie. That's all it is. A freak off is a man of power. P. Diddy bringing all his friends together, mostly men, some women, but mostly men, so he can get those men some coochie. And what's going to happen after he get those men some coochie? They're going to look up at him. They're going to praise him for getting them coochie, because everybody understands how hard it is for some men to have sex in this day and age. That's what a freak off is. This dude was doing some men a service. Now, he was doing some other men a disservice when he was bunking them in the booty, and all that kind of crazy shit. But that's just the debauchery of a lifestyle of a man who's reached a point with his life that he can afford to do whatever he wants. Let's finish seeing what this chick talking about.
Marty.
Right. And the prosecution's challenge to get a guilty verdict was connecting the dots that, okay, you could show the video, you could have the testimony from these victims on the stand that was horrific, but was a criminal act carried out?
Exactly.
I mean, it was a stretch
out
by many legal accounts to try to get a guilty verdict on the RICO charge. But you listened to the testimony and you talked to people close to the case. What was most compelling about what they shared bravely on the stand against their will for years?
Yeah,
I didn't think it was a stretch to get RICO at all. In fact, when I saw that question, Marnie, if somebody asks for drugs,
if it ain't a stretch, then why did it not stretch to it, young lady? Explain how we got to the verdict that we got to if it wasn't a stretch. It's a complete and utter stretch to take a man's desire to have sex, or to have sex with his friends, or to throw a party where a whole bunch of people are having sex. It would be millions of people in prison right now if that was happening. We know that this kind of debauchery is happening all over the world, and the only reason that he is in the situation that he is because he has done this debauchery out front, and because some women or some men who push some women to desire to gain from his debauchery and his desire to have these freak offs and all this. It's fun. These people, I don't know for sure because I wasn't there, but I'm pretty damn sure them people's having fun up in there. I'm just saying. That's what we're talking about. Throwing this man in jail because he had a party where a lot of people had a lot of fun. Now, if you can sit here and prove to me that he had, underage people in there, or he was forcing people to do certain things, I'd hear it. I might even change my mind. But that's what they said in the courtroom. And the judge and the jury or whatever, they didn't believe it. Let's keep going.
And then the defendant gives drugs. Is that distribution?
No.
Yes.
No. Okay. It's okay. Is that distribution to drugs? Okay. Let me understand. If I give you drugs, that's distribution. But if I'm not a drug dealer and we're at a party and you get some drugs, not even from me, but from in the party, you grab the drugs yourself and I'll have them to you, is that distribution? Because what is she trying to say? That he was just, hey, that's what I'm saying, man. Men are such under attack. We are such under attack. You know, there's no safe graces. I mean, look, once again, no pass for the homie. No pass for P. Diddy. He was beating up on women. That ain't cool. He was dicking what's the face in the booty. That ain't cool. None of that's cool. But should he face more than 18, 20 years in prison for it? Come on, man. Y'all tripping.
It is, I mean, it's just common sense, right?
Well, it's also
No,
because
it's
who's
not.
asking,
It's
right?
tripping.
Who's asking? I mean, it's Sean Diddy Combs. It's a celebrity. He's got power. He's got clout. He's got...
You don't have the ability to say no because he's Sean Diddy Combs? Now we're talking about the weakness of people and their inability to say no, inability to not do something that somebody asks you to do or wants you to do this. Okay, I understand influence. I understand not wanting to not wanting to hurt your chances of success to some degree. But like Cat Williams said, people like this want your booty and you just gotta not give it to them. It's all on you to protect yourself. And if you're sitting here trying to tell me that you knew that whatever he was offering or whatever he was doing was bad and you did it anyway, you have culpability in that. You could have walked away. You could have said, I don't want them drugs. You could have said, I don't want no freak off. You could have said, I don't want no stuff on my face. You know what I'm saying? Let's get this woman over with.
Yeah, so
over you.
the idea here is that if the defendant is facing distribution of drugs, and that's one of the predicate acts under...
Wait. I don't see distribution of drugs up there.
Under the RICO statute.
Okay. So under the RICO, where is it at? I see sex trafficking. I see man act transportation, sex trafficking. So under racketeering, you was trying to say that he was distributing drugs because he had drugs at his parties. Man, a lot of you fools is going down. Raves is over.
I mean, yes, if you handed the drugs over, it doesn't matter if somebody asked, you handed them over, that's distribution. So when I saw that question, I thought,
Wait. If somebody asks me for drugs and I give them to them, they don't have any culpability. Their desire to take the drugs doesn't outweigh my fact of having drugs. Come on, man. See, I'm glad the judicial system is not this chick.
well, they're going to clearly be instructed. Here's the law. Yeah. And so it looked as though they had that predicate act checked, that they clearly knew that he handed the drugs over. They just wanted to know if somebody asked, did it mitigate that in some way? And
yes,
the law that was given to
it.
them, told them, no, it doesn't mitigate it. Then
mitigate
they
it.
believed in the Mann Act. They believed in the prostitution and the illegal sex acts. What is just confounding to me is that they didn't see a kidnapping. There were two instances where there were other witnesses who corroborated. They didn't see bribery. There were multiple witnesses who talked about bribery. There were multiple witnesses from the Intercontinental Hotel who said, first he tried to bribe me, I said no. Then he went to my bosses and we said no. Then we went to the bosses again and we said yes, and there was a big bag of money. And there were multiple witnesses and a lot of testimony. There's 2 acts right there, Marnie. 2 acts satisfies RICO.
What? Let me see something real quick. One second. Okay. So for bribery, you can get up to 15 years. Okay? So the charges or whatever, she's still saying that with the Mann Act, he can get almost 18 years. So you tried to wrap all kinds of things, bribery, distribution, all under racketeering. This is what I'm saying. This is just a complete and utter attack on this man because he was a freaky deaky, man. And it's weird that y'all doing this. It's so crazy, the attack on man that we continue to watch to this day. You know, we've seen so many go through it. Just recently, Shannon Sharp, you know, Tyler Perry is going through it, but it's a straight up man. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, and it just keeps on keeping on. If you're a man of any type of means, you just got to shut it down, bro. You can't do nothing crazy. You can't be messing around with nothing crazy. You can't, man. It's almost a mistake to mess with like a baddie, because you just don't know what their intentions are anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Over the course of 10 years, and all you needed was an enterprise. And an enterprise didn't need to be a financial enterprise. It just needed to be a group of people who agreed. And there were 3 of Sean Diddy Combs' enterprise present, according to multiple witnesses. Sean, KK, and his bodyguard. I just don't understand how they didn't get to RICO. And I'm shocked at sex trafficking. I'm sad.
Okay, I'm done. This chick tripping, bro. So she just, see, that's what I'm saying. She's saying all these things that all right. So what she's doing is she's trying to do what the prosecution was doing, trying to pull all these little things, little itty bitty intricacies together to try to form Voltron, the racketeering case that could throw P. Diddy Combs, one of the most successful black men that we've known, into prison for the rest of his life. Why? Because he's, did they find any people that were other than Cassie? Because I understand, we saw the video. We know he attacked Cassie. We assume that Cassie. We can definitely assume that Cassie was not the only person that he did that to. But nobody else came forward. Nobody else stated that he did this to him. The only cases that we hearing of are his wife, who passed away. He doing crazy stuff to her. But nobody came forward saying he did the same things that he did to Cassie. If he did, he would have been through under the jail. All the people that came forward, his lawyers proved that they was out for a payday. Almost all of them got contradicted. Pretty much all of them was proven to have been compensated and volunteered whatever they was doing, except for like Kid Cudi. I think he burnt up that fool car. But that's what I'm saying. None of that builds up to a case, as the judicial system proves, that would throw this man in prison for the rest of his life. Let's keep going.
I'm sad about the sex trafficking, because those women.
As a matter of fact, we're gonna check out what happened when he got denied bail, because that's some bullshit too. And then I'm gonna let y'all up out of here. It's been a long shoot.
Sean Diddy Combs has been denied bail after the verdict in his sex trafficking case, and here's how he took the news. According to NBC News reporters in the courtroom, Combs appeared, quote, deflated as his hopes of going home were seemingly dashed as his lawyers attempted to convince Judge Aaron Subramanian to release their client ahead of his sentencing. In his ruling, Subramanian cited Combs' years-long pattern of violence as a reason for him to remain behind bars, adding that he continues to be a danger to others and unable to follow the law. Arguing that Combs, who pleaded not guilty to sex trafficking, racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, as well as transportation to engage in prostitution, was acquitted on the 3 most serious charges of sex trafficking and racketeering, and only convicted of prostitution-related offenses. Defense attorney Mark Agnifilo insisted he should be released on appropriate conditions. As Agnifilo outlined, Combs would be willing to put up a $1 million cash bond, co-signed by his mom Janice Combs, his sister Keisha Combs, and Sarah Chapman, the mother of Combs' eldest daughter Chance Combs, and have no access to his private plane, which is currently grounded in Maui. He also agreed to surrender his passport, undergo drug testing, and restrict travel to areas of New York, Florida, and California as necessary to attend court and meet with lawyers. According to NBC News, Combs was passing notes to Agnifilo as the attorney spoke to the judge to argue for Combs' release. After Agnifilo finished, Combs raised his hand and started to get up, seemingly to speak. Agnifilo told the judge he would find out what Combs had to say, and Combs' attorneys rushed to speak with him. Ultimately, he did not end up saying anything. Combs will remain in jail until his sentencing, which is scheduled for October 3rd.
Damn. October 3rd, bro? That's forever away, cuz. October 3rd? That's foul. The dude just got acquitted the majority of his charges. The charges that he still has are barely enough to cover, would probably, what they're saying, would just give him time served. So he'd be out. This is bull jive. He should have got let out. Look. We have to understand that people's vices have always been under attack. But we see, as of late, ergo the Tyler Perrys, the Shannon Sharps, and the P. Diddy's of the world, some people's vices have been used to destroy them. Straight destroy them. And it's working. It is working. Shannon Sharp is... Has anybody heard from Shannon Sharp lately? Has anybody really watched even Shannon Sharp's show as of late? I haven't. Tyler Perry, in trouble, taking booty too. Okay. Final statement. P. Diddy ain't shit. Don't ever put your hands on any women. You should be allowed to have sex wherever you want to, whenever you want to. If you desire to make sure that your friends get to freak off and have sex with very beautiful women, I can't complain about that. I know prostitution is illegal, but women do it all the time. All the time. A woman will literally... Alright, if a woman has you buy her a Birkin bag and you fuck, is that prostitution? That's what I'm saying, man. It's the line is so thin, and the effect is so massive. They're about to take this man's whole life away. They've already taken a major portion of this man's life away. They said that he's down to what? He's lost over 90% over his wealth. He's going to be ostracized from most communities. He is not the man that was given the key to New York no more. Destroyed. All because he was a freaky deaky. Look, man. Eventually, we're really going to have to figure out, because this is what I'm going to say. Guys, what this is modern day buck breaking. You guys know what buck breaking is? Buck breaking is something that was done back in the slavery days where, a slave owner, probably some gay ass slave owner, would buck break his male slaves by having sex with them. And of course, you know, if you get buck breaked, you know, you everybody else loses respect for you because you've been got duped in the booty by master. And you know, it knocks you down a peg. It weakens your stance as a man. And the problem with P. Diddy was he's buck breaking niggas all the time. Left and right, he's buck breaking niggas. Because he had that power. And he was, you know, and the problem was, and why was he buck breaking niggas and doing all these freak offs? Because the boy had a Tootsie Roll in his pants and you know, he had to show power some way, shape, or form. And if you got a Tootsie Roll in your pants, you have problems showing power. Now, I thank God that I don't have that problem, you know. But you have to show, it's like the Napoleon complex for dingalings, you know what I'm saying? You got to show your power in some way, shape, or form. So the easiest way is just to have these freak-offs where, you know what I'm saying, you get to wad, you get to make sure all your friends get some coochie, mess with some really super duper bad women, you know what I'm saying, and they get to see you dominate a man to show your power. And that's the main reason your ass is in so much trouble. But you shouldn't be. I mean, you should be in a little trouble. Not this much.